Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for tuning back in. Glad you can make it back. Hopefully, you guys are having a great day. What makes men attractive? And there's a lot of things. Um, let's start with looks. Looks are the first thing, or are the first things that everybody sees, right? And it's not just us when we see, tits and ass, right? Um, it's women. Women when they see abs, bro, they cannot break away. They can't, bro. It's hardwired within them to go directly after that. Obviously, the reason for that is if you look strong, you then you're then more convinced that they are able to take care of you, right? That's from the woman's perspective. Um, if he looks like he can beat the shit out of five dudes at one time, um, that's the one that's gonna have that's the one that's she's gonna have his babies with, So I mean, you cannot blame a woman for wanting a guy that's got six pack abs, he's ripped to the jaw, and then you got Ted over here that's 40 50 pounds overweight but has such a good heart. It, what? No. No, no. That's why I tell you guys, get in the gym, man. Get in the gym. Um, Go lift some weights, man. Just get active. Get active, dude. Um, I was there at a point in time, and I had great success with that. Unfortunately, I got married and let it all go. But now I'm getting back into it. I'm already over 10 pounds. Lost, and that's with muscle gain too. So, you know, you gotta get in the gym. But this isn't. Don't 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 misunderstand. Don't get into the gym just because of women. Don't ever do that, because as soon as you get a woman, you're gonna stop going to the gym, and then when you stop going to the gym, you're gonna return back to your old habits, and then before you know it, you turn into a fucking Cheeto. Don't turn into a fucking Cheeto. Come on, man. Don't turn into a Cheeto. Um, so get fit, man. Absolutely get fit. Stay fit, but stay fit or get fit and stay fit because you want to, not because you want a woman. Um, Woman should be the last thing on your mind. Should be absolutely the last thing on your mind. Unfortunately, again, the way society is today, um, men are so starved for attention, uh, that we give up everything when we finally get that attention. And so the hardest thing to do is to not give everything up, all for some attention. Um, it's just it it it's what destroys you in the end. You think it's something that's helping you, but it's something that's actually destroying you. That's why you don't do it. But going off on a tangent here. um, but yeah, um, abs, shoulders, biceps, calves for some weird reason. Um, they really love the calves, man. I don't know why they love the calves, but they really love it. Um, and what I tell you guys about baking that cake, all right? You got to bake the cake. You have to. Don't call the gingerbread man. You got to learn that shit yourself. You're the baker, man. You're the baker, so you better be baking it. All right. You gotta. You have to get fit. You need those muscles, man. It's an absolute must. Okay. So next thing, um, you may look good, but how do you carry yourself, right? And that's not with just clothes, it's not with just how you smell, right? It's confidence, right? Do you stand up straight, shoulders back a little bit, right? Do you take up as much space as you need for yourself? Do you not care who's around you, right? I mean, not that you don't care for people around you, but that you don't care who enters your space or not. That doesn't affect you because you're essentially immovable, right? You're going to do what you want to do as long as you're well mannered, right? Well mannered in the sense that obviously you're not going to do something unreasonable, but you're going to do what you want to do because you want to do it. That's why I was telling you, if you want to get fit, you get fit for you. Don't get fit for a woman. And so um that's gonna that how you carry yourself, how you present yourself, how you act around people is ultimately going to determine what your aura is, right? What your overall presence is. And dude, don't get it twisted, man. The way that you present yourself, the way that you carry yourself, the way that you act around other people, women notice that more than anybody else does. Women are social creatures, very social creatures. We like to make fun of them because of how disengaged they are or with their surroundings and pretty much have their foreheads glued to their smartphones. But they really pay attention to two kinds of men. One that is irresistible, the kind of guy that I'm talking about here, and then two, the creep, right? The Ted that's 40, 50 pounds overweight, that's constantly staring at people, that's um hoping and wishing and praying that he would get some attention, but not really doing anything about it to get that attention, right? Matter of fact, he's so focused on attention, he's neglecting himself, right? To the point of exploitation, even. That's what really creeps women out, man. Because that kind of guy is not seen as a man. You're seen as less than human at that point in their eyes. Because a man that isn't capable of one protecting and providing is not seen as a man at all. And so she actually gets alert signals when she sees a guy like that, because that guy is considered dangerous, right? The reason why he's considered dangerous is because if he's not neglected, because he has been neglected so much to the point to where he's willing to take drastic measures in order to get attention. But if he's rejected, that's what sets that bomb off, essentially. And I mean, that's why women they try to be very careful around guys like that. And they can typically sniff a guy out like that from a mile away, right? Uh, but um, they're also sniffing Chad's abs. so like I said, two kind of guys, two kinds of men, man, that they really, really pay attention to. Um, and back to the guy that has a irresistible aura about him. He is the life of the party. When I did the video of the cool guy, right? It's I mean, it's pretty much the same kind of guy, the guy that is the life of the environment, essentially. Um, a guy that's knowledgeable, guy that's well mannered, guy that's kind, a guy that doesn't let anybody, walk over him, right? Guy doesn't take shit from anybody, a no nonsense man, right? But a guy that's kind, and a guy that carries himself confidently, like I was saying, right? Straight, standing up straight, shoulders back a little bit, right? Taking up as much space as he needs, doesn't really care who's around him, right? He's going to do what he wants to do. Um, and so, also a guy that's not afraid of conflict, not afraid of confrontation, right? He's confident in himself to deal with the things that he has to effectively and properly. Um, that's the kind of man that women find absolutely irresistible, right? Because he takes care of shit, right? He's going to do what he has to do to make sure everybody is all right. Now, also, he's going to put himself first, right? Because he understands he has to. Because if no one is there to take care, right, of anyone else, they're left defenseless. So that's why he understands that he has to take care of himself first. Um, and so, knowing that he takes care of himself first, he's not going to put anybody on a pedestal, not at all. Um, that's one thing that women absolutely just melt for are guys that can say no. Matter of fact, more often than not, will say no, right? And puts them in their place, you know? And it's not just telling it or shut the fuck up. It's not just that. Of course, it can be that in certain situations. But it's telling her, look, I got this. All right. You don't worry, you don't need to worry about it. I got it. Okay. I got it. I'll handle it. So, and it's not just him telling her that, it's him showing her that, right? Through his actions. And so um all of these things, right? And then I also touched on looks a little bit, so I kind of want to come back to that. Um I touched a little bit on dressing and smelling and all that stuff too. Um but yeah, absolutely. You want to dress well, right? You don't want to dress like a bum. You don't want to wear a bunch of ripped jeans, uh stained, dirty shirts, right? You want to wear something a little bit nicer, you know. You don't want to wear Crocs or toe shoes. Um, you want to wear Birks. That's what you want to wear. You want to wear Birkenstock. There you go. The ladies lose their shit over Birkenstock. um, so no, listen. The more plain that you wear, right? Or the more plain that you dress, typically the better that you're going to really look. Honestly, you don't have to wear t-shirts that has a bunch of lettering or a bunch of images on it. You don't need to do all that shit, man. Just wear a plain t-shirt, dude. Like what I have here, plain t-shirt. You can wear black, white, and gray like this. Uh, OD green or olive drab green. Just plain colors. You don't have to have every color of the rainbow in there, right? But just some different colored clothes, right? With some jeans. Uh, don't knock jeans, man. Jeans are great, dude. They're great for almost every single occasion. Just throw some jeans on. I wear boots. Um, I either wear boots that I wore during my active duty service, or I'll wear my Western style boots. Um, Sometimes I'll wear my Converse. Just depends. But it doesn't really. You don't have to make so much of it. You just something plain, plain t-shirt, jeans. Maybe boots or shoes. Um, and then when it gets colder, right? I have a brown leather jacket that I like to wear. It looks really good. It looks really good. Um, I don't know how much it was. I can't remember. I'm not really the one that bought it. But typically, when it gets colder, I do put a button up on, and then I put a jacket over that, and then I just wear one of my ball caps, and I mean that goes just fine. Um, Now, of course, I wear my tactical shades with that. These are some of the shades that I wore when I was in. The reason I do wear them is because it really helps with the sun. But um, I mean, these are I think they look all right. They don't look too bad. I think they look kind of cool. So why not? And it's not too flashy. It's not too plain either, right? There's enough diversity in there that makes it a little bit interesting to look at. But you're not overpowering people with fucking paragraphs on why we should think you're cool. Um, um, but yeah, don't overdo it. Don't overdo it, man. Just the more plain you make it, typically the better you're gonna be. But you know, yeah, it's not overly complicated. Uh, Now, as far as smell, obviously you want to smell good. Who doesn't want to smell good, right? Um, Women absolutely take the scent very, very sensitively. Sensitively. There we go. Words are hard, guys. I'm exhausted. um, Women are very sensitive. There we go, to smell, to odor, to scent, whatever. Um, for my guys who have been in relationships, is it really no wonder why she's always trying to steal your hoodies or your t-shirts? It's because it smells like you, right? Women absolutely, hands down, that scent is one of the first things that they notice. It is the second thing they notice, right next to how you look. So I one of the colognes I use is a sandalwood cologne. It's not really the best ones out there because um, as far as I've been using it, it is pretty strong right off the bat, and then it dies off kind of quick. So I kind of rely on my deodorant a little bit, and that is again, sandalwood. I love the sandalwood fragrance. That's why I use it. Um, And that's another thing to consider too. It's not just working out, right? Everything you do for yourself. Do because you want to do it, not because you want to attract a woman, right? So, um, but I hands down really enjoy the sandalwood smell. It just smells really great to me. Um, so I know it is one of the fragrances, like I'm a fucking toddler. I know it's one of the fragrances that are it's very popular, and so I would try to really take a look into that. Um, uh, Old Spice, I'm pretty sure Old Spice has a sandalwood fragrance. So, and you can find them at Walmart. You can find them at Kroger. All kinds of other different places. So make sure you guys are taking a look into that. Um, just trying to give you guys some ideas here. Okay, so um, I touched on looks, scent. I touched on aura, confidence. I touched on um, competency, uh, knowledge. So you want to be knowledgeable. One of our duties as men is to guide our families, right? So we want to make sure that we are not just knowledgeable, right, in certain studies, maybe history or anything like that, or math or whatever, but we also want to be knowledgeable in common sense, obviously, right? But we also want to be able to make sure that we can think outside the box, right, and solve problems effectively. And so challenge yourself, okay? Absolutely challenge yourself. If you find yourself in a situation, don't lean on Google. Try to figure it out yourself first. Try to figure everything out yourself first. And then, right, if you're maybe on a time constraint, or you find yourself starting to get frustrated at that point, then okay, yeah, take a step back, kind of do your research on Google, and then get back to it, right? Um, Obviously, if you're working on a car, or you're working on your own car or your girl's car, dude, don't just trust yourself to figure it out, okay? Don't do that shit. Don't do that shit, man. You're gonna rip the radiator out, and then guess what? Now your girl's car is now your girl is out of a radiator. So, and you can't stick an air filter in there, so that's not gonna work. So, um, absolutely, consult, Lord and Savior YouTube. Um, and I myself am a YouTube mechanic. Of course, I do have a little bit of mechanical experience, but I'm not a guru when it comes to cars by any means at all. So, you know, um, sometimes you gotta look up how to replace parts on YouTube, and that's just fine. That is just fine. Don't knock yourself about that. Um, but part of doing that, right, is learning one thing, that day that you didn't the day before, right? And so that's why I'm telling you to challenge yourself, because it's one thing, right, to consult Google or YouTube to kind of get an answer on something. It's another thing when you challenge yourself to figure something out and you do, right? That builds confidence, right? And joy in yourself. I'm telling you, that goes a long way, man. That really does. So figure things out yourself, do things yourself. All right. Challenge yourself, learn, grow. Because ultimately, the more avenues that you go into and you learn and you grow, that's going to be a lot more to talk about, right? And you may find yourself getting to a point to where you, you may fit into several different cliques with people, right? Um, I was never really much of a reader. I'm a little bit more of a reader now, right? And after the whole MLM situation, I'm kind of finding myself back into a groove of reading more. Um, but I have experience in reading. I write as well. I write poems. I write. Um, I'm actually working on a short novel. Um, just my experience through religion and all that stuff. But something that I'm working on. I haven't worked on it in a little bit just because I've been so busy with everything else. But nonetheless, I have experience in writing. I have experience in reading. I have experience in craftsmanship, right? Making dioramas, making wooden necklaces, making metal necklaces, um, even making wooden figures. Right? There was a longhorn skull that I did. It looked really dope. It really did. I'll see if I can find a picture for it and put it up here for you. But it looked really cool. And you know, and it's not just that. I have experience in firearms. I have experience in um, building gunpla. I have experience in Legos, of course. Music. Drawing, painting. All kinds of stuff, man. All kinds of stuff. Molding, sculpting with clay, even. you know, um, House repair, with mudding and laying grout and, all kinds of stuff, man. And so, the more experience you have, right, essentially finding yourself becoming more of a jack of all trades, is more of a interesting person you're going to become, right? Because you're going to be able to talk about a lot more, and people are naturally going to look to you, right? To kind of lean on you because you have all of this knowledge. And women absolutely pay attention to that. They pay attention to that. Absolutely. Okay. And so do that. Um, I would say the last thing is comedy. The funny guy, right? Absolutely. No, I'm not funny. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Ladies, leave me alone. Especially the Cougars. God damn it, the Cougars, man. I can't get away from the motherfuckers. Up. When I was a security officer, um, the Cougars hit me up all the time. They really did. They really did. Um, it's just something about uniforms. Obviously, uniforms and security. Um, obviously, two of the biggest things women really pay attention to are guys in uniforms and the word security. So, security and safety. You know, guy in uniform. Boom, boom. Put this here. So. um. So, anyways. All right, going off on a tangent. Anyway, anyways. Um. Yeah. So, funny guy, right? Um. You don't. You may believe that you are not funny. You may believe that you're just not that kind of guy. Here's the thing, though, man, is that anybody can learn comedy. It's not something that everyone's gonna have natural talent that they're born with, but um, you can learn how to be funny. Absolutely, you can. When I was younger, I didn't really know, what was funny, what wasn't, and along the way, here and there, I was able to pick up a lot of different things, and I've made it my own, and it's just I just find I'm just being funny is something that I just learned how to do, right? And so, um, it's not just my life that I'm telling as a joke here on this channel, but you absolutely, guys. It's something that will help you for sure because it's a part of aura, right? If you present a good environment to be around, right? Um, People are going to be drawn to you, but especially women. And so make sure that you are attuned to that and make sure that you can do that. Now, do you have to be funny? Not necessarily, but it does help. Absolutely does help. Um, it does. Um, the reason for that is because um, if you can help in situations to make them a little bit more lighthearted, so people aren't suffering as much, that's a good skill to have. It really is. It's a really good skill to have. Um, and so that's something that really can't be replaced by many many men. Really, is a guy that can do that. And so, that's why I tell you guys, just you can learn it. Don't believe you can't. Okay. Um, and so, but to kind of wrap things up, right, into a little neat bow because we like bows. Um, um, Looks first, absolutely. Get fit, right? You want to get fit. You want to look capable, right? You want to look strong, right? So get in the gym, lose the weight if you have to, right? Build muscle, get some wide shoulders, get some pecs, get some abs. I'm on that journey myself. Um, Carry yourself well, okay? Be well mannered, right? But don't really care so much as who is in your environment. Um, Take up the space that you need. Stand tall, right? Okay. Stand tall, stand confident, be assured of yourself, dress well. That doesn't mean dress like you're going to church, all right, or going to for a job interview. Okay, what that does mean is that you know dress like you care about yourself. I should say that. Um, and then obviously you want to wear something that's going to make you smell good, right? Like I said, I recommend the sandalwood fragrance. It's a good one. Deodorant, cologne, all that good stuff. Um, and then uh, confidence, as I was saying, being able to protect and provide. You know, be okay with confrontation, stuff like that. Um, be knowledgeable because you want to be able to guide people and guide your woman if you already have one, or guide women, right? And then also, you know, learn some comedy. Okay, learn some comedy. Um, you can take stuff from other comedians and you can make it your own. Absolutely. It's just like how musicians have been doing it for thousands of years, dude. You know, Beethoven took some of his things from Haydn, right? And Beethoven is the one that literally ushered in the Romantic era when it came to music. So, you know, yeah, when you take something, right, and you make something new, right, make it your own thing. That's where legends are made, right? So, um, but yeah. So that being said, I mean that's if I happen to have missed anything. Um, I'm sorry. Well, no, 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 no. I already said be knowledgeable, right? Be knowledgeable in different avenues. That way you can take care of things that needed to be taken care of, right? Give advice when you get advice, right? And people will lean on you. And, you can guide people in the right direction, and women find that it's super attractive. So, um, stoicism, right? Absolutely stoicism. And then that's what I was talking about with being immovable. That's what I meant when I said that, anyways. So, um, and that's not just to everyone around you, but her especially, right? That's what you were leaning on when you tell her no, right? When you put her in her place, it's you being stoic. So just keep that in mind. uh I think that's just about it. And giving providing a good environment to be around, want to have fun, you know always want to have fun. Um, so hit the giggle trigger, the giggle switch. I should say. That's fun. So, um, you don't have to go shooting for a date, but it's a good idea. It's a good idea. I think it's a great idea. Maybe she doesn't know how to shoot, so you teach her how to shoot. Guess what? Boom. That's a great date, dude. That is a great date. You don't have to take people. You don't have to take her to a 5-star restaurant. God, God, don't ever take her to a fucking 5-star restaurant. Oh God, don't ever do that, man. Um, a walk, right, to get to know her. Something something low risk, something low investment, and then if it becomes a little bit more serious, then okay, cool. Let's go to the gun range. So but listen, boys, if she can shoot better than you, you gotta go, bro. You gotta go, man. You gotta get out of there, bro. You gotta get out of there, man. You gotta get out of there, bro. Um, that's a bad situation to be in. That's how you know her dad's gonna be standing out in the front porch with a 12 gauge when she when he finally meets you, or when she takes you to meet her dad. And you meet him for the first time. Anyways, I'm rambling on. That's pretty much gonna be it, guys. Um, If this video helped you out, please like, share, subscribe. I greatly appreciate that, guys. There's a lot of guys out there that really need this message. Um, you know, not many guys are really taught this shit growing up. I was one of them. So, you know, help me to spread the message, guys. I would, I really want to grow this family of ours, and I want it to be really, really huge. Okay, not Trump kind of huge, but really huge. Um, so, um, uh, yeah. So just help me out with that, guys. That'd be really great. Um, please take care of yourselves. Absolutely, take care of yourselves, mind and body. Um, get fit. Go talk to somebody if you need to talk to somebody. Um, and make sure you're taking care of each other too. Okay. Absolutely. If someone's calling you at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, pick up. Pick up. All right. Don't just look at it and snooze it. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Because you never know. You never know if it's your buddy that really, really needs you. So pick up, ask if they're all right. Okay, cool. If they are, boom. I mean, well, don't hang up on them, but be like, all right, cool. I'll get back to you tomorrow, and hang up. But don't be an asshole. Just hang up. It's a kind of a dick move. But yeah, take care of each other, especially in the comment section. All right. Someone's having a rough day, help them out. That being said, guys, thanks for watching. I know I ran on a lot, but I think it's always a journey when I ran on. So, anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys, and talk to you guys soon.